Since its founding in 1812, the American Antiquarian Society has cast a wide and inclusive net. No printed item was considered too trivial or too mundane. Such collecting has been invaluable to researchers who have come here.
Well, I believe you need to know not just what your characters wrote, but what they read. And that includes reading the books that they read, but it also includes reading the newspapers they read. What did someone like John Adams see in the daily paper? What was he reading?
My students today don't read newspapers except online. It's really important to go and actually hold it, because what a whole generation and generations to come don't understand is what it meant to hold this large piece of paper, this sheet that was folded over. 18th century newspapers are all 4 pages. It took 16 hours just to set the type. They have to be printed once a week. When you hold it in your hand, you can think about what it was like to sit at a table and hold it in the 18th century. You can see what story, where your line of sight moves across the page. You can see why you might read the runaway ads first, because the way they appear on the fold.
There is nothing like being in the presence of original materials and having access to them. You're in the actual presence of history.
The Society holds some 2 million copies of newspapers from all over North America, many of which exist nowhere else. The collection also includes manuscripts, graphic arts materials, pamphlets, and books, in some cases several copies of the same title, for good reason.
People think that a book consists only of a text and that you can digitize that text and then you don't need the physical object. But a book is a whole series of texts. There's a text in the annotations in the margin. There's a text in ownership and therefore potentially the readership of the book. There's a text in how the book's put together and how it's made, the materials it's made out of. They speak to the time and place that the person who read it lived. One of the great parts of AAS's collection is the Mather family library. And each successive generation of this family added to this library, and they added to the annotations in the margins. But one of my favorite quotes of all these annotations is an annotation that Cotton Mather made in a book. There was a book attacking him and attacking his family. And he wrote in the margin a quote from the Bible: "If mine enemy hath written a book, I will take it and bind it unto myself as a crown of thorns unto me."
We know something about Isaiah Thomas's passion for collecting through his own note written in a copy of the first book published in North America.
Well, the Besson book has always been a legendary rarity. It was almost impossible to find in Thomas's time. And Thomas, who was seeking to build a great collection of American imprints, looked all over the place for decades without being able to find one. And so when he finally obtained this in 1820, he was very proud of himself, and he wrote in the front this: "After advertising for a copy of this book and making inquiry in many places in New England, etc., I was not able to obtain or even to hear of another. This copy is therefore invaluable and must be preserved with the greatest care." Isaiah Thomas, September 20th, 1820.